and his campaign account.
Is it all outside of Utah money or is it inside of Utah money?
All of his PAC money is outside of Utah. It's this guy out of North Carolina named Jay Faison, Faison. He's the mega millionaire, billionaire, climate change dude. He's been funding almost all of it.
This is gonna be the best day ever. This is gonna be the best day ever. Wake up.
I met Vivek the first time last July because I got Charlie Kirk, Turning Point. We went down and did his podcast in Arizona with my campaign manager, Jesse, and he's like, dude, hey, this is great. I want to endorse you, but not here. He goes, I've got in West Palm Beach, we're going to have a huge Turning Point Action Conference. He goes, let me have you there on stage. 7,000 people will endorse. I'm like, heck yeah, sure. So we went out there and I met Vivek for the first time. I was on stage and then he came up afterwards and then President Trump was there. And it's been kind of a cool experience just to kind of go with it and have all these things happen in our lives. And, we hope for the best.
Dude, so you think you can win or what?
We do. I think we're within striking distance. I mean, we are the underdog, but we're the underdog with a chance. We've been outspent. They put up about 12 to maybe as high as $15 million now between his PAC and his campaign account.
Is it all outside of Utah money or is it inside of Utah money?
All of his PAC money is outside of Utah. It's this guy out of North Carolina named Jay Faison, Faison. He's the mega millionaire, billionaire, climate change dude. He's been funding almost all of it.
Because, dude, I lived in the 25th district in California before they redistricted, and that was Katie Hill's district. She was the congresswoman that got busted for having the Iron Cross tattoo and having pictures of sex with the interns and like smoking bongs. Okay. Do you remember that wild scandal?
That's right.
She was supposed to be the next Nancy Pelosi, but she ended up being the first congresswoman ever censured, and then the first congressperson removed from office ignominiously in 25 years. That was freaking my district before they redrew the lines, right? And so, total embarrassment, but it's only in Los Angeles, right? But I was just gonna say that we had a huge problem when she was running. I think there was $25 million from out of state. 2 of which was dumped the night before just for ballot harvesters, or the week before just for ballot harvesters. And she won by a skosh, right? But it was the most expensive Congress or congressional race in a decade or something like that because of all of this outside money. Somebody did the math. It was 8 out of $10 spent in our district was from outside of our district. She had her own HBO program running because she claimed to be a lesbian. She was in the local swinging group, but then she came out as lesbian right when this gay rights organization said they'd give $2 million to a lesbian candidate or something. I don't remember all the details, but she never self-identified as lesbian until she was a congressional candidate. And then all of a sudden she was so LGBTQ, you know what I'm saying?
She wanted the money.
Yeah. It was a money grab. But so are you up against that kind of thing where it's just a David and Goliath, or are the local elections still local enough where you can kind of play local politics and win?
Well, not really anymore. And we didn't get into it, but Utah's got a complicated system. We used to be exclusively a caucus system. So in early March, there's 2,500 precincts across the state, and these neighborhoods will elect. This year, it was about 4,000 state delegates. I won the convention in April 27th with 70% of the delegate vote. And back when Mike Lee, won in 2010, the rules are if you got more than 60% of the delegate vote, you didn't have a primary. You moved right on to the general. You didn't have a primary.
Well, that's the voice of the people. That seems to make sense.
The establishment. What's that?
I said, well, that's just the voice of the people having spoken. That seems to make sense.
Right. These representatives from their neighborhoods, but they changed it. The establishment changed the law in 2015, and they allow people to buy their way on the ballot, quite literally. And that's what John Curtis did with 2 other guys. They go and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to collect, 30,000+ signatures of registered Republicans. It costs on average $10 to $15 to go get somebody to go do it for you. and they allow this alternate path on the ballot. And so that's why we're even having a primary. And so after they got the signatures, he's gone out and he secured all this out-of-state PAC money, and they have literally, they're putting $2 million in attack ads just on me. These last 2 weeks, they have spent $2 million. That's more than I've spent in the entirety of this race that I've been at for a year. They put more in 2 weeks in attack ads than I've spent in my entire campaign.
Dude, I got to tell you, you know how Tip O'Neill said that all politics are local, emphasizing how if people feel empathetic towards Democrats locally, they'll most likely vote for the Democratic presidential candidate. That was a famous phrase that Tip O'Neill said back in like the 80s during like the Reagan era and stuff, or the Clinton era.
Yeah.
I actually think it's reversed now because of the internet, because of the 24-hour news cycle, because of social media. I think all politics are national. People vote for you because they hate what's going on in Washington, not because they're worried about what's going on in Utah. And like, it's this weird thing now where it's like, these individual races are settled more by like national interests than by local interests. I think all politics are national. Like, you run for water board here, you run for like, I don't know, mineral commissioner, and they'll be asking you what you think about gay marriage and climate change. It's like, well, that would actually be relative to water board. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you better have the right opinion on feminism if you want to become like, I don't know, the district sewage commissioner, because all politics are national. Yeah.
Especially with money.
Yeah.
I've become very cynical. It's become very, very much all about money and the national money, the PACs. I'd love to make that my life's mission too, is just get rid of PACs and lobbyists, the ability to donate. It's just insane. That Citizens United case, they consider a corporation an individual. Well, then why aren't corporations limited with the same contributions limit that individuals have? Because if, my campaign, Trent Staggs for Utah, I can only get $3,300 from one individual during the primary, $3,300 in a general. So I'm capped at the amount of money an individual can give. I can't take corporate money. But you can then set up a PAC and you can give, there's no limit. A corporation group, they could put as much money as they want in a PAC, and that's legal somehow. And it doesn't matter where it's from. And in fact, it can be foreign. It could be even foreign contributions. That's like, doesn't make any sense at all. These federal races with the money that is coming in. I hate it.
This is going to be the best day ever. This is going to be the best day ever. Wake up, top of the morning, the bacon is crispy, the coffee is pouring. My meditation is peeling an orange, the bank says I'm already scoring.